parents, let me first say a few words about your principal. I don't think he expects me to speak about him, but I must say that all of you are very fortunate. In one word, I can tell him, I love you very much. You know, when I come to teachers, I come to them with three expectations. The first arises from my complaint, and I always ask teachers to pardon me for this complaint. When I first joined the Ministry of Education to advise the Prime Minister on education, I told her that if we want a true system of education which has to be given to the children of India, first pay attention to the teachers. I could have advised her in many different things. I should have said, change your books, give better books, change your system, make it quite different. I could have said, change the environment, the timings of the school. So many propositions can be made. But after many years of experimentation in education, I have come to the conclusion that nothing will work if teachers are not paid attention. Therefore, when I get this chance to meet the teachers, I feel extremely fulfilled. I want to talk to teachers. I want to meet them. I want to talk to their souls. I regard India at present in a situation of a tragedy. We have so much, and yet we have so little for teachers, and still much less for the children. And this is the situation of a tragedy. I want this tragedy to be reversed. I don't want our country to undergo another period of slavery. And you may not be feeling that pressure, but when I see the international situation, the national situation in our classes, our children, the inspiration that is being given to children, I feel we are heading towards a period of another dose of slavery. I would like it to be prevented at any cost. This is not the time to analyze the situation and to show you how we are heading towards another period of slavery. It can be another occasion. And if there is one section in the country which can prevent that tragedy, it is teachers. It's not only this number of teachers, but teachers as a whole. Teachers can prevent the tragedy. And no other. This is also certain. It is not politicians, it is not economists, it is not scholars, it is not bankers, it is not businessmen, industrialists. No. I don't look at them for the salvation of this country. I simply look at teachers. A nation can be made or a nation can be destroyed within a period of 20 years. At any given time, you enter into a field and the whole civilization, it may have been built over thousands of years. In 20 years, you can take it forward or you can ruin it. It will depend upon teachers. This may seem to be an exaggeration, but a child takes about 20 years to grow up. If those 20 years are looked after properly, in 20 years' time, the whole nation can change in the direction that teachers have determined. Therefore, I say within 20 years, you can either make a civilization, you can mar a civilization. This is the importance of teachers. Unfortunately, this is not understood by teachers themselves. And also because those who matter, so-called matter in the world, they regard teachers as an appendage to the society, appendix, not something very central to the country. How you will look upon the child, what aspirations you will fill in the heart of the child, how you will chisel his faculties, faculties of thought, faculties of imagination, faculties of will, faculty of action, various kinds of skills. In 20 years' time, if you properly do it, you will have a new generation which will shine. Therefore, you might say, I have a 20-year program, starting from today, if you all agree. You can start any time you decide, but speak of 20-year program. In these 20 years, the first program will be a program for yourselves, not for children, only for yourselves. What you will do to yourselves, how you will look upon yourselves, how you will look upon your own work, will take care of everything. You decide today that from now you will be a good teacher. In fact, I did not know what questions are going to come, I was thinking of what I'm speaking to you, and the very first question that has come to me is exactly a question appropriate to what I am talking to you. I'll read out that question. एक अच्छी शिक्षिका के लिए क्या ये जरूरी है कि वह जिन गुणों को बच्चों को सिखाना चाहती है वे अपने अंदर भी हों? हम अपने अंदर लगातार अच्छे गुणों को कैसे बनाए रख सकते हैं? This is exactly the question that I had in my mind to ask you, and you have asked me that very question. It's a very good sign when there is a identity of the sentiment and even in the formulation of the question. So this is the program which I would like to present to the teachers for themselves. Those qualities which you want children to have, my first answer is that you must have. क्या ये जरूरी है कि जो गुणों को आप अपने बच्चों में बढ़ाना चाहती हैं वही गुणों को आपको अपने आप में उसको बढ़ाना आवश्यक है? My answer is yes. It is futile to expect a child to possess those qualities which you don't possess yourself. Of course, many teachers believe it's not necessary. We say to many children, do what your teachers ask you to do, don't do what your teachers do. This is also a proposition very often made. I don't agree with that view. I demand from teachers, if they want to avoid the tragedy that is going to take place in this country, I'm sorry for speaking such a language, but I speak to you as if I am speaking to myself. If you want that our country should not have another dose of slavery, then you can prevent that tragedy, and for that the first decision you should make is exactly this. The qualities that you want to develop among your children, 20 years are given to all of us. In 20 years' time, let us develop those very qualities in ourselves. Now the second question is, हमें अपने अंदर लगातार अच्छे गुणों को कैसे बनाए रख सकते हैं? How can we develop and maintain लगातार? Constantly they should be maintained. How do you sustain? First of all, let us underline, it is necessary to sustain. Today you resolve, I want to be a good teacher, but tomorrow if that resolution is going to be weak, and day after tomorrow weaker, and thereafter very weak, and thereafter forgotten, then this work cannot be done. The tragedy of any nation, particularly the tragedy of which I am speaking today, that tragedy can be removed only if teachers decide that we want to prevent that tragedy. We don't want slavery. We want our children to be heroes, heroic. Now, if heroism is a quality that you want to develop among our children, then our teachers also have to be heroic. I'll come later on to decide as to what is heroism. But first of all, it is necessary that we decide that our children should be heroic. The two examples which we have discussed recently with your students are the examples of Pratap and Rani Lakshmibai. Both were heroic. Their qualities are to be first of all understood, appreciated, underlined. What are the other qualities? Apart from heroism, what are the other qualities that we need to develop among our children and therefore among ourselves? It is the quality of what I call iconoclast. An iconoclast is one who breaks images. An iconoclast is one who is an opponent of dogma. If you see around, all around, you have a very big refusal, with R capital, refusal. You look at your own house, your own school, your own society, your own country. All our enemies come to you in the form of no, negation. And if you probe that negation, why are you saying no? The answer is don't ask the question. Just accept what I am saying. Of course, they won't say in these brutal words, but if you go into depth of their refusal, their simple answer is, you believe what I tell you, don't ask. Just do what I ask you to do. This is what I call the image, a kind of idol which blocks you. It is this dogmatism, which has to be destroyed. And how can you deal with dogmatism? No dogma can be rejected, can be broken, except with one weapon, and that is the quest for knowledge. It is only knowledge which is the remedy of dogma. I'll come to this question as to what are the dogmas. According to me, there are 4 dogmas all over the world today, and I'll tell you where is the sting of these dogmas and how these dogmas can be broken. And I would like teachers to be free from these dogmas in themselves and destroy them from the minds of the students. Dogma should be replaced by true knowledge, or at least quest for knowledge. We have to create a long quest among students and teachers. to learn constantly and to learn without break, and to inspire children to learn and learn and learn. Unending education, lifelong education, so that dogmas can be broken. You will find that people who are around you, they do not have a real argument. Of course, they will give you lots of arguments, and they will give the illusion of argumentation all around. You will feel they have great arguments, but when you will go to the end of the tunnel, you will find there is no argument, it is simply no. There is no argument, it is no, simply no. It is this no which has to be rejected, because it is blocking the way for the future. The future society will be a society of knowledge. Whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, whether people prescribe it or not, it is happening and will happen. We talk today of the media. Basically, all media are instruments of knowledge. Instruments through which knowledge can be given to the people. We call it information technology. We don't use the word knowledge so much. We call it information technology. That technology has come to stay. And we have to underline the word comes to stay. It will stay. And the only use of that technology is to spread information and more information and more information. And this information will carry the messages of dogmas. And they will imprison our children within the prisons of dogmas. So, the second quality which I want children to develop, and the teachers therefore to develop, is that of quest of knowledge which can break dogmatic assertions which are imprisoning our society and development. So this is the second quality I would like teachers to develop. There is a third quality for which I don't need to make a lot of argumentation. But to implement the message of this third quality is very difficult. What is the third quality? The third quality is skill. Every individual should have certain skills. I don't say all the skills. Every individual should have certain skills. On every line of development, there should be a dimension of skill. Now this dimension of skill nobody will argue against, everybody accepts. You want everyone to be skilled. But when you ask the society, please give us the facilities by which skills can be developed, you will be told manage somehow. People are not ready to give you facilities for development of skills. Why? Because skill development is not only very difficult but also very costly. It's not easy to develop the skill of anybody. Skill requires, first of all, on the part of the individual, a great deal of practice. Nobody can become skilled unless he has patience to practice the skill which he has to develop. Even if you want to be a singer, you have to spend hours and hours and hours of practice. If you want to be a dancer, you need to have hours and hours and days and months to practice. If you want to be a good speaker, the capacity, the skill of communication, we require months and years of practice. In fact, all the teachers have to have one skill, and that is communication skill. Unfortunately, this skill is not being provided. It is assumed that somehow it will come. You just go through a period of training and it will come. And therefore we don't look after that problem at all. And communication is one of the skills that every teacher requires, but very important quality, very important skill. To have a population, any amount of population, maybe 10,000 or 1 billion, if you do not develop skills among your people, you are only producing consumers and not producers. And that society cannot be sustained. A society which only consumes and consumes and consumes, that society cannot be sustained. It's only a productive society, a creative society, that can be sustained. Therefore, if we want to avoid slavery, we must produce children who are skilled. This is a third quality, and I would like therefore teachers also to develop skills. I will come back to this question afterwards again. Let me come to the fourth quality which I would like teachers to develop. It is a quality which prevents you from quarreling among yourselves. We all have infinite capacity of finding the causes of quarrel and then to engage ourselves in quarrels. And everyone has reason for quarreling. And mind you, everyone is right in his reasoning. I have not found anybody who has a quarrel without any good basis. I have examined the arguments of two partners in a quarrel, and I have seen that both are right. Both are saying something which is quite right. But quarrel is not right. The reason for quarrel is quite right. The only thing that is not right is a quarrel. Why does a quarrel come about? The quarrel comes about because we do not know how to assert what we think is right. We do not know. It is our incapacity. We are told that we should learn how to live together harmoniously. We do not know how to bring two right points of view together and to join them together. We do not know how to synthesize. We do not know how to harmonize. We do not know how to see interconnections. We have not learned what is called mutuality. It's a very important quality, mutuality. The two individuals in a question or in a situation, how to bring them together so that there is a mutuality. Both need each other. The principal needs the teachers, teachers need the principal. If this is understood by all the partners concerned, there should be no quarrel. There can be dialogue. There can be exchange of ideas. And with every exchange of ideas, there is a greater warmth which can come out. Greater joy can be spread. Greater love can manifest. In other words, we do not know the art of love. We all want to love, we all want to be loved. We do not know the quality by which love can increase and can multiply. So, I don't speak of any other qualities. There are many, many qualities. One can make lists of qualities. You might have seen NCERT has described 82 qualities or virtues or values. I don't speak of those long, long lists. I have only these 4 qualities. I just enumerated 4 qualities to be developed by teachers from today. Provided you consent, provided you give an agreement that yes, we want to work for India, we should not walk straight into the path of a new dose of slavery. We want our India to remain free and truly free. Now I'll come back to these 4 things again after some time, because let these 4 ideas sink. In the meantime, I'll take up some other questions which have come also, which are good ones. ऐसा क्यों लगता है कि हम किसी के भी साथ न्याय नहीं कर पा रहे हैं? It's a very, very good question. It comes out from the sense of justice. It's a great confession to ourselves. How is it that we are not able to do justice to ourselves, to the others, to our work? One of the reasons why this is happening is that we are living today in a very strange world which we do not know, do not understand. If you were born 2 centuries ago, this would not have been the condition. In England it was called the Victorian Age, in which everybody was feeling that he was right, just, glorious. In these 200 years, world has changed. And if you ask the question, in what respect has the world changed? One can give a long lecture on this subject. But I will tell you only 2 or 3 things in respect of which we can judge the way in which the world has changed and why we feel it to be strange. One is that today the world has become more transparent than it was ever before. Now, transparency has many problems. Secrecies have many solutions. When the child is told this is secret, you will not know about it, many problems are put under the carpet. It's a very big defense against lots of questioning which can arise. You say it is not for children to know. Elders can know, you cannot know. This was an answer which was very famous even 100 years ago. Children shouldn't ask this question. And children used to accept, yes, we are very young. When we become big, we shall come to know. Today, this answer will not satisfy your children. This is one of the big changes in the whole world culture today. The world has become too transparent. It's only one example. Take another example. In the earlier times, even 200 years ago, you could manage your life by means of a kind of deception. You can keep an outer facade of one kind, doing something quite different behind the facade, and telling the people something else, and this facade could remain, could be sustained. No more today. Even if you start it for some time, after a very short time, it gets revealed. Imagine a prime minister of a country like ours offering a bribe to a few members of parliament so that they can be tempted to vote in favor of government instead of against it. An operation which comes about quite secretly. Within a short time, it is in broad daylight. The facade is removed very quickly. In ordinary times, this facade would have remained and remain and remain. If at all removed after 100 years, so who bothers about it? It does not affect the life. But today it is not so. This is the third thing which is happening today. It is the idea of good and bad. At one time, we all knew what was good, we all knew what was bad. We knew, society knew, children knew. Today, if you say to the child, this is not good, he'll say, why? Why is it not good? I like it. We do not have a real argument in our mind, in our heart. Yesterday we had a very piercing question from your students. When I said to the students, God does not test you. He thought that I was saying that even good men don't test you. And so he put a question to me saying, why was Harishchandra tested by men like Vishwamitra, very great sage, and by a god like Indra? Why this question comes up in this form? In the ancient times or even 100 years ago, people would simply not raise a question of this kind. Vishwamitra is Vishwamitra, you can't raise a question why he did it. No. Today's child asked me the question, who is this Vishwamitra who was testing Harishchandra? What for? He did not ask further question, why should Harishchandra have accepted to be tested by Vishwamitra? That also could have been asked. He was still respectful. He didn't ask this question. But questions of this kind are today raised. What is right, what is wrong? Today's children want to know why something is right in its fundamentals, in its truth. Not because somebody said in the earliest times or because it is so believed. No. He wants to be convinced about it today. It's a different stage of life we have reached today. So this is the third aspect of our present condition. The fourth aspect is that the world of today has become so intricate you can't understand it. Take for example only the system of circulation of money. How does money circulate in the country and in the world? What are money markets? The whole society today seems to be grabbing something from the currents of money which are flowing. And we do not really know what is this flow of money which is going on all around. And very little of it comes to your hands, and some other people are able to grab quite a lot. We don't know this system. We don't know the system of law. so intricate. We don't know the system of medicine, so intricate. We don't know the system of engineering, too intricate. We don't know the system of governance, it is too intricate. The whole world has become so intricate, so complex. There are huge structures and nobody is in command. You may be president or president of America and you may think that you can press the button, but even that will not be possible for you because you do not know. The structures are so complex, so intricate, you don't know how it can be managed, how it can be handled. Even those who think that they can manage, they are not able to manage actually. We are only grabbing something, that is all. You can grab a little out of it by some tricks for some time. But nobody feels that he is a master of the thing because the things are so intricate and so huge, you can't control them. When I joined the Ministry of Education, my own minister told me, Professor Joshi, I am here for the last 5 years in this ministry. At the end of 5 years, I can now say that I have begun to understand my ministry. To understand my ministry, not to be able to act on it or to